Hey, howdy, friends. It's Steve DePaul here with the Rose Realty team with this week's real estate vlog for North Texas. Hey, today we're going to talk about something I talk about. We do a vlog on this maybe once a year, real estate agents' code of ethics. And I kind of like to get that out there because when you kind of look at, with the way different professions are viewed, I think realtors are like just above Congress. Okay, which is really disheartening because Congress, I don't think they have ethics. But anyway, regardless of that, I like to kind of show pick out a couple of highlights during the real estate agents code of ethics and how we have to adhere to them and et cetera. So to kind of get you to know, to get my listeners to know that, hey, we do have ethics regardless of what that 20% is doing to us out there. We do have a really, really strict code of ethics. Before we get started, hey, I wanted to ask you, can you go to our YouTube website, go to youtube.com and look for Moving to Dallas. That's our YouTube channel. Like it, subscribe to it. It'll give you updates. It'll let you know when we drop a new video or we drop a new vlog or something like that. And you'll get updates. Doesn't cost you anything. And actually at the end of the long run, it'll help us by kind of like popping us up there towards the top of the list. We want to thank you, and we appreciate you for doing it. So let's talk about code of ethics. SOP, standard of practice 1.3 is in attempting to secure a listing, shall not deliberately mislead the owners for the market value. So what that means is, hey, look, you want me to list your house, and your house is worth 400,000. I can't go in there and say, hey, your house is worth 800. Okay, because number one, it's not going to sell at 800. It might not sell now at 800. Maybe in 10 years it'll sell at 800, but it's not going to sell at 800 right now. And so to deliberately lie to you, to think you can get more money than you can, and then you go and call in another couple of agents to get their opinion. They're all saying 400. You're going to say, hey, we're going to go to Steve, right? But that's not going to work out because your house isn't going to sell at 8. It's not going to sell at 4. Or thereabouts, and so it's unethical to do that. Now, there's a difference between your house worth 800, worth 400, and maybe we say we're going to try it at 425 or 435 or something like that. That's a big difference between saying your house is worth 400 and let's try it 800. Okay, so there's a big difference there. SOP 1.9, the obligation of the realtors to preserve confidential information. So here's what the deal is, right? Is when you ask me to help you buy or sell a house, you're going to sign this agreement that says I work for you and we're going to work together on this deal, right? Hidden in there, it's inside that document, basically says that anything you tell me is confidential. I'm not gonna tell anybody the confidential stuff or anything that you tell me. So here's a good example. Let's say we go see that $400,000 house, okay? And you come out and you say, oh my goodness, we love this house. It checks all the boxes. We go as high as 550. Okay, well, I'm not going to turn around. I'm obligated not to turn around and go to the selling agent and say my clients love the house. They want to put in an offer at 400, but they'll go as high as 550. That's confidential. That's not going to happen. And we're obligated or we're bound not to tell the other agent or the seller that information, because that's confidential that you shared with me. So that information, unless you give me written permission to tell some information to that other agent, it's confidential and they never hear it. Article 2, we shall avoid exaggeration and misrepresentation or concealment of pertinent facts pertaining to the property and a transaction. So number one, the exaggeration or misrepresentation is, like let's say you're living on the golf course and either you want to sell your house and we tell you, hey, the golf course doubles the price of your house, or you want to buy a golf course lot, and say, hey, definitely the house is worth, is worth double what any other house in the neighborhood is worth because of that golf course. That's an exaggeration. Okay. Other pertinent facts relating to the property or transaction is if, for example, we had a roof inspection and the roof leaked. Well, we have to share that now because now we know that information. We have to share that with the other agent or with potential buyers because you know it and we need them to know it. So everyone's got all the correct information. So we've got to share that information with the buyers, or the other case with the sellers. Our SOP 2.1. We shall be obligated to discover and disclose adverse factors that are apparent to someone with expertise. So what this means is there's two things. Number one, I'm an expert in real estate. I'm not an expert in plumbing or in mineral rights or in tidewaters or something like that. Okay, so I'm not. Even though I may have an opinion on it, I shouldn't give my opinion. We should ask an expert about that and let that expert give us their opinion, because that opinion is going to be more valid than mine. Okay. And again, disclose adverse factors about the house. Again, so the roof leaks, okay, and we're remedying that and trying to fix it. We have to let a potential buyer know that the roof leaks, and so they know, and they're trying to fix it. Or when we're not allowed to say is, hey, the roof looks kind of rough, but it's fine, it's not a problem, when in fact we had it inspected and it's reached its end of life and we're going to get it fixed. We have to tell them, we have to share all that information with everybody so that everyone has the same information, everybody's kind of brought up to speed, and there's nothing hidden. Article 1, standard of practice, SOP 1.13, entering into the buyer-seller agreements. We must advise potential clients of the amount of compensation. So what this means is, look, so you want me to help you buy a house. I'm your buyer representative. I'm going to tell you what my commission is. Okay. I'm going to tell you, number one, hey, I make X percent. Let's just put it down and say, let's just say I make 3%. Okay. On the transaction. And let's say, for example, that the house is listed for the buyer's agent at 2.5. Okay. Well, what my explanation of what my compensation is 3%, and the difference is 2.5 is 0.5%. That means I'm going to ask you to pay that other 5%, the other 0.5%. Okay, so that you're upfront, and you just, when you get a bill at the end of the transaction, hey, where'd this come from? Because we had that conversation. I'm gonna have you initial it off, and so that exactly where things are coming from and exactly how I get compensated and how the other agent gets compensated and who's paying for what. Article 6, where realtors shall not accept any commission, rebate, or profit made from their client without the client's knowledge. So great example. Okay, working with a first-time home buyer, found a house that they're going to build, and it happened to be a 2% bonus for the buyer's agent during this particular month. Okay, so what ended up happening is I ended up getting an extra 2% on the deal. They knew that. It was written in the contract. We explained it to them. So I'm saying, basically, I'm getting a bonus for bringing you there, and they understood that and they knew that. Okay, it wasn't something that was hidden. It wasn't something that we said, okay, don't tell them because they think Steve is making too much. It was out there in front. They knew exactly what was going on, and they knew exactly where I was getting compensated and how much. Okay. SOP 1.6.1, we shall not recommend or suggest to clients any service or a business where we end up we have an interest in and we end up making money off of. We ask you to sign a document called the relationship disclosure document. And for example, with our brokerage owns pieces of a title company, and I think an inspection company, and I think a mortgage company, if I'm not mistaken. Now we don't make any money off of that as a realtor, but the brokerage and the corporate office does make money off of that. Okay, and we disclose that to you right off the bat. If we choose to use one of this title company, for example, you may get a break, from some of the expenses, but more importantly, we make it move to the top of the line. Okay, I don't make any money off of it, and we disclose that to you that our company owns a piece of that, and what our compensation, if any, may be or may not be if we end up using that company. Again, we tell you that right up front so that you understand, and you obviously get a copy of that document. Article 9 says, for the protection of all parties, whenever possible, all agreements and transactions basically shall be in writing. So look, gone are the days of the handshake. Hey, yes, I'm going to buy your house, and yes, I will buy it for this much. Everything has to be in writing. That even means text messages. Okay, so I'm negotiating between for our side and the seller side, and we send a text message back and forth that says yes, let's move the closing to the 5th instead of the 1st, or something like that. Then I'm going to take that text message and I'm going to cut and paste and put it into a document, and basically say, here you go, because this was said and this is what we agreed upon. And so gone are the days of the handshake and the gentleman's agreement, and yeah, let's do it this way or that way, without it being in writing, where all parties know and all parties understand what the dates are, what the times are, or what the price is, or or whatever. Now it's going to be in writing. It's going to be documented so that everybody's on the same page. And again, Article 10, which is it's hard for me to believe we have to continually put mention this article, but Article 10, hey, we shall not deny equal professional services to any people based on the race, color, religions, sex, disability, familial status, national origin, sexual orientation, or gender identity. It's hard for me to believe in this day and age that we have to put stuff like that down, because why would we? Why would you want to deny somebody based on race or age or sex or whatever? Okay. Because they're people, and we were in the people and the relationship business, and just because somebody comes in who's not the same race as you, or not the same sex as you, or whatever, why should you deny them the same great service that you would somebody who is your race or your religion or your whatever? Okay, so again, Article 10 is the basically, I guess, the anti-discrimination article. Next week, one of my favorite vlogs is Thanksgiving Day fun facts. This is going to be the 6th or 7th, I think, Thanksgiving Day fun facts. I really enjoy this because to me it kicks off the holidays, and it means that the end of the year and Christmas and New Year's and stuff are right behind us. So next week, Thanksgiving Day fun facts. This is Steve. I am with the Rose Realty team. Bye-bye.